Okay, so we have the official patch notes. Let me look. All right, so we have the update to Vanguards for the upcoming patch coming July 10th for Season 1 Marvel Rivals. We have Shield, Restoration Delay, Time After Releasing, Living Legend, 3 seconds to 2 seconds. I don't necessarily know what that means because I remember you can spam his right click is what it felt like. So I think now this is going to be changing that to a little bit longer. Limited Rush CD, 12 seconds to 10 seconds, which I actually really like that. Increases base health. Okay. Energy cost for releasing Freedom Charge, 3400 to 3100. I don't know what that means for energy cost. That's like the first time I'm hearing this. And additional health provided per second to self after releasing 110 to 100. It's such an interesting thing because a lot of the terminology that they're using, I have no idea about. Added damage fall off to Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8 meters. Slightly decreases the shield value recovery rate after releasing Shield of Seraphim from 80 to 70 a second. Okay, so just his shield coming back is going to be a little bit weaker, which I kind of like. Increases the base health by 25. Added immunity control effects during God of Thunder. Ooh, I like that. So now he can just do God of Thunder and you can't like penny snare, which I like. Reduce the indestructible guard gamma shield value for Hulk from 250 to 200. It's good to know that these have values because I'm not sure if those values are expressed in the breakdowns. So it's cool to see that they actually have value. Increases symbiotic resilience bonus health ratio gained per lost health point from 1 to 1.2. Increases the base damage of Feast of the Abyss from 40 to 50. I actually really like this because I felt his ult was underwhelming, but also it is surprising that they're buffing his resilience like ability because that already felt like it was giving a lot of HP. Like I've seen Venom's HP shoot up from like 50 HP to 1200. So that's definitely super interesting. But this is going to be for the Vanguards. That's just the Vanguards. It looks like we have some buffs, nerfs with the arrows in case you were curious about that as well. So Vanguards. All right. Nothing too crazy on the Vanguard side, personally. All right, let's look at the team-up abilities. Looks like we can just click this. So the team-up abilities, we are going to get a nerf. It reduces Hawkeye season bonus from 20% to 15%. Same with Hela. I think I can speak for every single person in all of Marvel Rivals that, yes, finally, thank God. I don't even want to say finally because they did that so fast. But regardless, huge change. Really enjoy that. Curious to see where it puts them in the rest of the season. But not only that, one of my favorite characters, Namor, is getting a huge buff with Chilling Charisma, which increases frozen spawn damage from 25 to 27, which is insane. Increases frozen spawn slowing effect, and then increases the Berserk state spawn damage from 16 to 18. I can't already explain how strong Namor is currently, but to get these buffs, Luna is almost going to be like a permaban character or a pick because of Namor. I think it's going to really shut down the backline characters such as Iron Fist, Black Panther, Magic, things like that. So increase the metallic fusion projectile damage from 55 to 60. Increase metallic fusion spell field damage from 30 to 35. I think this is pretty good. Magneto and this metallic chaos, this team up just seems a little underwhelming. As is, but I think this is like whatever. Reduce the cooldown of ammo invention from 45 seconds to 40 seconds. Okay, sure. As a Punisher main, I love this. I love this very much. I think there's been times where I've called for the ammo pack to be dropped down and I've wanted it quicker, and now we get that, which is pretty cool. But what I like the most is it seems like all the other team ups are getting buffs, whereas these right here are getting nerfs, which I kind of like. Now, this doesn't really affect the team up, though, from what I'm looking at. So, curious to see this. Reduce the cooldown of Charge Gale from 20 seconds to 15 seconds, and increase the damage of Charge Gale from 50 to 55. This is the Storm buff. I know Storm is getting got a little buff, so I'm very curious to see what she's gonna do. So, strategists. Reduce Dagger Storm Cloud, a cooldown from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Increase the number of dashes and Eternal Bond from 3 to 4. Cloak and Dagger has always been a great choice and a great healer, so I think this is a decent change to really solidify her in the meta rather than just like Mantis Luna on repeat. So I'm very curious to see what the nerfs are going to be, which we see them right here. But adjust its Jeff range from 10 meter sphere to a 10 meter radius. 5 meter cylindrical spell field increases the healing of Joyful Splash from 140 seconds to 150. Okay. Increases the interval for switching between healing and damage in Fate of Both Worlds from 0.1 to 0.5. Okay, so her ultimate ability, I'm kind of disappointed in the nerf. I don't necessarily think the switch was a problem. I understand that the spamming was a problem, but I think the bigger problem with Luna is how long the ult lasts. I think it lasts far too long, which I'm not a fan of. Reduces nature's favorite passive. Movement boost from 2.5 meters a second to 1.5. Okay, so this is just making her a little bit easier to hit. I kind of agree with that change, but at the same time too, maybe they could have put it 2.5 if you don't get attacked for longer than 10 seconds. Or do anything for 10 seconds just for if you're running to spawn, because I think this also takes away her ability to get back quicker. Increase the healing of repair mode from 60 to 70. Okay, so this is huge. So Rocket is getting a buff, which could potentially put him in the middle because it's healing 10 per second. So you figure if you throw around 3 or 4 of those right clicks, this is going to be, 40 health per second or something like that. So really, really interesting to see this. But yeah, that's Strategist. As for Strategist, I think nothing's really going to change. I think the meta is the same. I think Mantis Luna is going to be super, super good. Cloak and Dagger is probably going to be thrown into the mix a lot more. She is a very, very strong character, especially in higher tiers. And Rocket, I mean, we'll see if the heals are that different. But now we're getting to what everybody has been wanting. The duelists. So we have the duelists. Oh my god, that's very close up, but I guess we'll do it this way. Reduce the additional health provided to self after refreshing vibranium marks with Spirit Rend from 40 to 30, and the upper limit of additional health provided from 120 to 75. This is a massive nerf to Black Panther players out there, and hopefully all my support players out there will now feel safer. I'll go down on the left here. So again, in the duelist, increase the range of the first effect of Edge of Dancer from 3 meters to a 5 meter radius. Okay. Reduce the time required for feet flip to cover. Okay. Oh, wow. 4 seconds. Reduce the time required for electroplasma explosion to reach maximum power a little bit quicker. They didn't really touch her damage too much, so she's still the way she is, I guess. It's a buff, but looks like just to keep her more mobile rather than keeping her damage in check. Slightly reduce the spread angle between every 2 blast arrows. Reduce the... So they want to... It looks like they want to maybe have the blast arrow used more. Reduce the triggering distance of passive ability of Archer's Focus from 60 meters to 40 meters. And reduce the maximum additional damage of the passive from 80 to 70. Okay. Reduces base health. So now health is going to be a little easier to kill. Increase Umbral Incursion damage in Darkchild form. That's scary. Magic getting a buff is something that you never want to see. She's already a problem. But yeah, so we're getting Darkchild going from 115 to 135. That's scary. I'm not a fan of that. That's not fun. We got Moon Knight. Increase the number of talons generated by hand of Khonshu from 10 to 14. Ooh, so they're just buffing his ultimate. Increase the explosion radius of each talon from 4 meters to 5 meters. Moon Knight just got the craziest buff. I've been gaming a long time, and especially when I would play Apex Legends, I would see something like, oh, we're going from 4 meters to 5 meters. I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Just like when I used to play Apex, I'd go from, a gun going from 16 damage to 17 damage. And then you would play against that gun and be like, oh my God, they broke the game. So when I see something get extended by 1 meter, I immediately think to myself, this is a lot more important than I think than I think it might be. So I think Moon Knight is going to be a big solid pick, even though he already is a pretty solid pick. Namor, my baby. Adjust the throwing feel of Monstro Spawn and Frozen Spawn. Now Namor can more accurately throw them to the desired location. I've never really felt issues with this. This is just probably going to be maybe instead of like them lobbing, it's more of like a throw, if that makes any sense. Dance of the Butterfly will check for barriers, including Magneto's metal bulwark, Hulk's indestructible guard. Oh, so that's a huge nerf. Interesting. Slightly reduce the spread of deliverance and... Ooh. No way. So his shotgun and his ultimate abilities? I'm pretty sure that's his ult, no? No. Oh my God, wait. They just buffed... Oh my God. They just buffed the shit out of... Hell yeah! My boy Punisher got a fat buff. Oh my God, I'm going to beam people from so far. Increase Chaos Control fixed damage from 50 to 60. Reduce the percentage DPS from 5% to 3%. And increase... I'm not even going to try to say that word. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not looking like a fool. I'm not going to do it. But it looks like they buffed Scarlet, which is fine. I still think her ult needs work more than anything. And then finally, we're going to move my camera. Increase Windblade projectile speed. Oh. Okay, so they pretty much made her left click a hit scan. Increase Bolt Rush damage from 70 to 80. After releasing Omega Hurricane, the bonus health being increased from 350 to 450. The extra health will no longer vanish instantly, but diminish at a rate of 100 per second. Wow. Storm might be one of the best characters for the first season 1. That just seems like a lot of damage. She's very, very, very quick, and she's permanently flying in the air. So that's something that is also just going to be a factor. But she does fly very quickly, and I think she does have like this AoE sense of damage, where I always felt like her damage was a little bit weaker, but now they're increasing the damage and they're increasing the speed at which it hits. I think it's gonna be great. So Unbeatable Squirrel. Tsunami squirrels will rush towards the nearest enemy after bouncing instead of randomly. Reduces the squirrel tsunami health from 600 to 300. Okay, so the health of the ult is... That's just interesting. I'm curious to see how this is gonna play out. I never really felt like her ult needed to be nerfed. I would like the ult to just be, you know, if I'm gonna send that ult out, I don't want it to be easily killed and halving the HP from 300 to 600. I just feel like it'll just never be useful, if that makes sense. I think a nice 450 would have been great. Increase the bonus health provided by a bionic hook in tainted voltage from 30 to 40. Increase, I'm not going to try it, Rod Stern's projectile damage from 70 to 75. Reduce the area damage from 70 to 65. And reduce damage decay 65% at 40 meters. Increase base health. So his base health got increased. I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, okay. There's not much more to say except okay. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Good for Winter Soldier. I don't really see a crazy thing here. Now, the one buff that I've been looking at the most is increased base health from 300 to 350, only solidifying the fact that Wolverine is indeed an off tank. He's a beast of a character. A reduced damage reduction ratio provided by Undying Animal from 50% to 40%. So I believe that is Wolverine's E. Yeah, Undying Animal. So provided 50% to 40%, which is insane to even know that that ability reduced damage by 50%. I really would like to see, when you look into these abilities, I would like to see that actual percentage be discussed within the kit, because knowing that it's 50% damage reduction is just a nice piece of information that we didn't have, and I think we should have. Same thing with like Hulk's Gamma, them having, 200 shielded instead of a 250. I think that really matters. So overall, I would say huge, amazing buff, or actually huge success on the update. It seems like they hit a lot of the things that they needed to hit with certain characters. Obviously nerfing hella Hawkeye, buffing certain characters that just needed to be played more, and showing why Namor is actually a really strong character. Obviously nerfing Psylocke. Winter Soldier definitely feeling middle of the pack. Wolverine feeling like the people's champion, aka the anchor being. And then again, Magic giving her a little bit more potential with her ult. I think it's just, it's cool. It's cool. And I think we're going to see a lot more people branch out and try new characters, which I think is the point of these buffs and nerfs, especially getting people off of Black Panther and allowing the strategists to live a little bit more, feeling less frustrated about the game. So they're reducing, the players that are really good with Black Panther are still going to do good, but they're not going to do so good that it feels unplayable. And I think that's what we have to look at. And I feel for all my strategist mains out there, when I see a Black Panther, just dive my back line and you can barely see what he's doing. And then when you try to kill him, you still can't do that. So I'm a huge fan of a lot of these patches. So yeah, huge W to the dev team, and cool. If you guys have any questions or concerns or any ideas of potential future buffs, nerfs, anything, leave it in the comments down below. But yeah, overall, 10 out of 10. Love this. Can't wait to see what season 1's going to bring. The Marvel devs are the Michelin star chefs of the devs around the world of gaming. This is exactly what we needed, and they continue to keep on cooking the best stuff. Can't wait to see what they're going to do for the future stuff.